What's going on YouTube? This is Duels Down Under, where you can find all of your Yu-Gi-Oh discussion videos, live duels, and deck profile videos, just like this one. Today, what you're going to see is my October 2019 ban list Infernoid deck. It was great to see that it was able to top 4 in the latest PPG Pro Tour event. So I thought, why not dust off the Infernoids and bring some spice back into the deck, and I thought, why not show YouTube the build that I'm using right now. So let's start with the first few cards. We'll start with the Infernoid Monsters and get those out of the way first. These are the cards that you don't really want to see in your hand, but more often than not, you will, so it's always good to find a way to get rid of them. I need to try and make it so there's not so glary. So let's get started. We have 1, 2 Infernoid Anunku. Definitely need to run 2 of these, just so you can keep your Void Feast live as well as your Void Imagination. 1 and 2 Infernoid Deviati. Again, just like Anunku, you need 2 of those again for the resolution of Void Feast and Imagination. Now, Infernoid Tondil, some people don't like this card. I'm a fan of this card because it will do double attacks if you send a card to the graveyard and it's destroyed by battle. It also works well with the Equinox OTK play. And my favorite Infernoid is Infernoid Sidesman, so the level 7. It is non-targeting banishing. It doesn't send it to the graveyard, it'll banish the card. Now, something a little bit different, you might only see a lot of people running 1 Infernoid Jet. I will show you why I run 2 of those later on. I do have my own spicy tech to the deck, and I'm hoping that I'll get your feedback on that. We don't run the level 5, but we run Patrouilla, our MST, 1 Harmodic, 1 Antra, and 1, 2, 3 Decatron. Now, I said at the start that you don't want to see these Infernoid cards in your hand. It's unfortunate because we are running 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14, 15 Infernoids. So over a third of our deck are Infernoids. So it's important that we use enough power spells that we hopefully don't clog our hands up too much with those cards. But still, with the monsters, I run the Gamma package, so 3 Gamma and a Driver. Driver is very important. Again, you'll see later on why I run these hand traps only rather than running, say, something like Ash Blossom or Ghost Ogre in the current format. But that is all of our monsters. So as you can see, we only run the 4 normal summons. That works out really well for Reasoning and Monster Gate. But let's get into our spells. A single Twin Twister. This card could pretty much be anything. I do think it's important that you don't get stuck under summon limit if you do happen to come up against a control deck of some sort. So just the 1 Twin Twister in the main deck to fill up that 40th card spot. We have 1 Reasoning. Boy oh boy, we need a holo version of this. Gold Rare doesn't cut it. I need a holo version because that common just looks bad. 1 for 1. Power card, discard an Infernoid from your hand to bring out a Decatron. What more can we say? It gets the negate on board straight away, and it's always great to see 1 for 1 in your hand. Now, this is where the double Jet comes in. I run 1, 2 Celestial Observatory. Now, for some reason, when I play Infernoids, I always see Jet in my hand, and if not Jet, Side Frame Driver. So this is a great way to get those cards back in the deck where they should be, and it also gives you a couple of cards in your hand as well. So it's a little bit of hand cleansing, if you like, and for me so far in testing, it's working quite well. 1, 2, 3 Monster Gate. I reckon this card needs to be an OTS ulti. I am a huge fan of this card. I'm so glad it's back at 3. It's put Infernoids back on the map. 1, 2, 3 Lair of Darkness. perfect card to start all those tributing effects. The best part about Infernoids in the current format is that they all of the middle-sized ones and the little ones, they all act as DD Crows, removing cards from your opponent's graveyard. So a well-timed activation of this, it can tribute one of their monsters and also banish that same monster if you so desire to do that. It's pretty good. I wouldn't run any less than 3 of these. I also considered running a Rima to search it out, or a copy of Terraforming in place of the Twin Twister that I showed you earlier. But for now, the 3 layers are playing quite well. I see it often enough. 1, 2, 3. Pot of Extravagance. Now we're getting into some super power spells. Pot of Extravagant is a great card. It's great to see first up. It does sometimes clash with Celestial Observatory, but rarely do I see both of them in the same turn. Sometimes I'll draw into an Observatory, often Extravagance, but by then I've usually got enough there to come up with some kind of play after that anyway. Extravagance is a really good card. And now for our Void cards. Void Imagination. What can I say? This card is Shaddoll Fusion on steroids. It lets you send 6 from the deck, plus some from your hand. It is fantastic. It always resolves, but when it does resolve, you've pretty much guaranteed game. Once you hit Tiara on the field, you get Tiara's effect to keep filling up your grave with more Infernoids from your extra deck if you like to do that. It'll also make sure you get Intis in the graveyard to do some popping as well, but no less than 3 of these. It's also an easy side out against decks like True Draco when they don't have an extra deck, so it's really good utility in that case as well. And to search that out, we have Void Vanishment. Perfect card. A lot of people probably don't know about the second effect on Void Vanishment, that when it is face up on the field and an Infernoid monster declares an attack or is attacked, it can have the opportunity to banish both monsters after damage calculation. So also quite useful sometimes when you need to get a big body monster off the field that you normally wouldn't be able to handle with say Onunku or Sisamus or Deviati. And I only run 1 trap in the main. This is a blind second Infernoid deck. I just think it runs better playing second, but if it so happens that I am told to go first, I do run the single copy of Void Feast in the main deck. I have the other 2 over here to show you that I do run them in the side deck in case someone tells me to go first, but I feel like getting more than 1 of these in your hand on the first turn is a little bit of a waste, so searching out the single one off of a Vanishment is usually enough. So let's go into the extra deck now. It's pretty basic, pretty standard Infernoid extra deck. We have 1, 2, 3, 3 Tiara. You need to run this at 3. If you do resolve an Extravagance, there is a good chance that you will banish at least 1 copy. So playing 1 or 2 really isn't an option for me. If you need to also, you can send them off of Tiara's effect to fill up your graveyard with a few more monsters. We also run 3 Elder Entity Intis. Again, popping effect in the graveyard off of Tiara's effect. Really helps to clear the board. It also comes in handy to clear your own board sometimes if you have too many levels on the field, say with Tiara, and you're ready to pop off for an OTK. It'll clear your board and let you go off the way you need to be able to go for game. We run 1 Cyframe Lord Omega. Self-explanatory, I don't really need to talk about that. 1 Abyss Dweller, such a strong card. There are options to make that with a Patrulia and a Decatron, and it does come up regularly if you like. It's actually quite a good play to go into just to stall your opponent out a little bit. We run 1 Heater the Fire Charmer. Always good. All of our Infernoids are fire monsters when Lair's not on the field. Otherwise, it is a bit dead in the extra deck because Lair turns all your monsters to dark. But it's totally good card to play. It's great to level up if you're. It can link up into Equinox if your opponent has a fire monster in the graveyard as well. So it gets you a free Cyframe Lord Lambda. It is our only generic Link 2 monster. I can't say enough good things about this card. Lets you search out a Gamma while you've got monsters on the field. It's got a really good interaction with the Infernoid monsters. You contribute your driver to send it to the graveyard, so at the end of the turn only the Gamma will get banished, and then you get to search out another one. So it's really good to help you negate those monster effects on your and to protect your cards like Decatron. Sorry. We run the Doolittle Chimera. It is a great card as well. Lets you bring back a fire monster. Adds a bit of a boost for all of your fire monsters as well. The Equinox. This is your OTK and your win condition, well, one of your win conditions of the deck. It helps out. There's a great play with either a Tondel or Sisymus where you can attack with the Equinox with its boost because it's the only monster that can attack while it's pointing to cards. What happens is you use one of your Infernoid Monsters effect to banish it, or to tribute it, to banish a card from your opponent's graveyard, and when it's off the field, your Infernoid Monsters can then attack. So the restriction of Equinox only being able to attack while it's on the field is pretty much past that. Really, really handy. The left forward that I run is Evolve the Goddess. Don't make this too often, really. Usually if you're in position like this, you're probably just going to go for the Equinox play. But going first, That's it for today. Thank you for tuning in for the deck profile. Be sure to like the video, leave a comment down below with what you might change, and of course, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button down there somewhere. Please hit that subscribe button and show me your support. I'll see you next time, YouTube.